On today's show, an outdoor experience right in the shadow of the big city. A winter trail by day and by night.
It's a lot of fun.
We discovered the sound of heavy metal music. Art best expressed through the work of this guy. Get ready to take a cold winter dip just like this crew.
Minnesota Bound, presented by Connecticut Water Treatment Systems.
Hey everybody, Laura Millie and I welcome you to today's snowy episode.
We recently discovered a unique trail system just a couple-minute walk from the front steps of our office.
Yeah, Brookview Golf Course, a place that stays busy during the summer and the winter too. Most Minnesota golf courses come with one guarantee. Every year, the summer season of swings will eventually succumb to a cold, snowy end. But at the busy corner of Boone Avenue and 55, one course committed to not let Mother Nature win.
Started out as just kind of a simple drum groomer, and it's kind of turned into what it is right now.
Brookview Golf chose to chart a winter path.
Yeah, I'm a big golfer, so I prefer the grass, but I think this is really pretty looking out here too, so I enjoy doing it.
We've got 150 acres of green space that through the months of March through November gets heavily used with golfers, but between end of November through March it kind of sat empty. So the trail gets people outside, it gets people out here at Brookview and allows them to enjoy the outdoors, a space that usually would just kind of go unused.
Each week, Brian Haley grooms Brookview's trail.
So there's a 1 mile loop and a 3 mile loop.
It takes about 20 minutes to do a loop, and I'll go around 3 or 4 times. Hour and a half I'll be out here.
Real close to the cities, 5 minutes out of downtown. It's a fun way to stay active all year.
Gives people something to do outside in the winter, and I think they really appreciate it.
Annie Jacobson would be one of those people.
This is my first time skiing at Brookview, and my first time bringing her along, so it's going to be an adventure. One of my favorite things about Minnesota is that people get out in the winter even when it's bitter cold, and having so many trails and cross country, you can get exercise, you can get some sun.
Just about anybody. We've got fat tire bikers out here, cross country skiers, there's dog walkers. We've seen some sleds out here with dogs attached to them, skijoring, it's kind of a multi-use trail that gets a lot of use.
Even when cold days give way to frigid nights.
Trail, there's a 1 mile loop that is lit by LED solar panels, kind of sprinkled out every 75 yards, and they just kind of light the trail at night, just that 1 mile loop.
It's a fun trail, it doesn't seem too difficult.
Rob Knutson keeps upright, carrying young son Everett.
Say hi. Staying warm.
Roger Kelly's working on his balance too.
I only fell once tonight, so it's not too bad. You forget about the city really quickly. There's just a little bit here that parallels 394, but very quickly you make a right turn and you're in beautiful gentle hills and trees and streams, and there's really cute little bridges that you cross, so it's a lot of fun. And what makes it really fun is it's lighted at night. So if you come out right before dusk, you can ski it both in the day and in the evening.
Big fun on the edge of the big city. A natural experience just as pure, even under the not so bright city lights.
I love it.
Coming up, the quiet life. Not so much in James Boutin's Northwood shop, where he brings copper to life.
Minnesota Bound is brought to you by Connecticut Water Treatment Systems, Star Bank, VMC Hooks, and by Voyager Lodge and Houseboats.
Up next, a story I discovered while wandering through a Lake Superior art gallery. I glanced at some fish on the wall and thought, there must be a story. The sound of expression. The art of the outdoors. Best expressed in an otherwise quiet cabin in the woods.
The earplugs working? I started off making knives. I keep thinking about what else can I do, what else can I do? So I got a pattern of a fish and I hammered one out.
Jim Boutin hammers away his days working on copper.
I've done so much soldering and handling and maneuvering with copper. Yeah, I think it kind of got into my DNA a little bit there.
The result of a lifetime in the plumbing trade. Retirement led to a humble workshop.
When I first started doing this stuff, I didn't have any copper other than tubular copper. I was splitting it and hammering it open. I do a lot of shopping around. If you go buy just new copper, I'd have to get $1,000 a piece from a fish in order to pay for it.
Jim's art starts with a photo.
Oh, I got shelves and shelves of pictures. I started, I don't know, 10 years ago on fish. You get the copper, lay it out, draw around the pattern, and cut it out. But as you can see, this is pretty easy cutting. And hammer it. Anything that doesn't look like a fish, you move. You get it out of the way. See, and then that's all you got left is what looks like a fish. Once I get to I know the pattern, then I'm hammering on the fish and I can see what needs a little bit more doctoring, a little bit more bending, or a little bit more straightening.
Jim carefully picks and saves all his scraps.
One of the reasons why all those little tiny pieces I put in there, sometimes I'm out here on my bare feet or my wife comes through in her bare feet.
Now he drills the eye and grabs a favorite hammer.
Start on the fins. I'm putting some pattern into the fins. A real live fish has similar lines in the fins that I'm doing now. So I scar my hammer all up to give it a texture. Wake up in the middle of the night and my hand will go like this. I gotta pop the fingers open. This must be the reason. You know? See the hammer marks? Can't see as much on this side. You turn it over, you got the shiny. But the shiny is good.
He finishes with the details. First fish lips.
Little lipstick.
Then fins.
It's repetition, repetition, repetition. I couldn't tell you how many fish I've made. I mean, it's just beyond, I have no idea. But this is camo for bow hunting. I just use it for this. It gives it just a little bit of color. It's not real apparent. It's kind of subtle.
A coat of protection, and this fish is ready to swim. Jim's hang out in the fanciest of Lake Superior galleries.
Metalwork is very difficult. The time and the materials that you need to use, being able to manipulate metal in that way, it definitely is an art.
You know the old saying that beauty is in the eye of the beholder? So is ugly. So some people like it, some people don't.
Humble words from an artist whose copper fish became precious metals.
Yeah, he's just very talented.
Still ahead, be prepared to freeze your tush. Winter campers hang out in the winter woods. But first, yet another way to cool down. These ladies love to dip in the dead of winter.
Closed captioning provided by Leech Lake Area Tourism.
Sub-zero temps don't slow down these folks at a local lake from taking their daily icy dip. Ron Shera has the story.
What's going on here?
This is, for me, also very ritualistic, and I think everyone here would agree. This is a pretty solid morning crew.
Ritualistic? Scooping ice?
This is nice. Look at this. The sound of it. She lost her picture.
I was trying to get through the ice, and I lost my tool. Thank you. Tool recovered.
Pitchforks? Raking ice? This for ice fishing? Far from it.
I was fine until I moved, and now I'm like,
It's not very different than being in a hot tub. You go in a hot tub, your legs burn like crazy when you get in, and you teach yourself, you're like, it's okay, I know I can do it, and you can just push through, and you get in this really hot water. It's the same exact thing. I just think this is better for you.
This winter exercise has a number of names: cold plunging, cold exposure, submergence, or in other words, a voluntary exposure to cold. And guess what? It's surging in popularity. Okay, plungers, why do you do this? For goosebumps?
The cold can provide a low-grade euphoria for the rest of the day, a degree of emotional resiliency for the rest of your day, kind of a calming effect.
But once you get in, the immediate response is going to be your whole body is just going to constrict, right? And so before they get in, I try to say to them, the breathing is going to be really key.
This is season number 3 here at the Harriet Magic Hole. So we have an official fence, an official hole, and we've got a team of volunteers that come out here every morning, and we open up the ice.
Surprisingly, cold plunging isn't a new thing or the latest fad. Plunging into ice water dates back to ancient Greece days.
It's probably like the second or third time that somebody comes in, then your body starts to recognize what's happening, and it's very, very calming.
I love starting my day with the sunrise, in nature, with wonderful people. This has become like a really important community for me.
My turn.
Okay, stay calm, take a deep breath.
What you really want to try is to do exaggerated breaths. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth in a very exaggerated fashion.
Like a hot tub.
Feeling great. Ready to go with the day. Refreshed, not cold at all.
Sounds great, I think.
Straight ahead, we hang out with an absolute niche crew. People who covet cold days and nights in the woods.
Minnesota Bound is brought to you by Flow Docks and Lifts, Midwest Exteriors MN, and by Totem Resorts, the premier destination for world-class fishing.
Sometimes we catch a little bit of grief for sleeping out in the snow and cold.
Now imagine doing just that with only a hammock.
Yeah, actually, it's a thing, and it's called the frozen butt hang. Well, we finally found the spot.
Well, we're in the middle of nowhere.
The literal end of the road. where people decide to hang it up.
I'm Frank.
Frank, nice to meet you.
Jordan.
Jordan?
Yeah.
Every January,
Going to the frozen butt hang.
people pack into Sawbill Lake's remote campground.
You might have to be a little half-cocked to begin with. You gotta be a little crazy.
I might have to use a stick or something to push that up higher.
We started out as hammockers, people that like to go out in the woods in the wintertime and get their coldest hang in a hammock.
Hang, that's tech talk for camping in a hammock.
Oh God, it's the best night's sleep you'll ever get. I feel like we have the weakest beards here, and that's really kind of depressing. Do you guys have some beard tips?
Campers come from every nook and cranny.
Left about 4:30 from Racine.
Down by Saginaw, Michigan.
From northeast Kansas?
New Orleans, Louisiana.
Yep, Barry Garibaldi drove 22 hours straight north. Here's why.
Dude, this snow is just awesome. I don't know what to do with this stuff, but I feel like a 12-year-old.
Some people just sit in their hammock and read the whole time. They go out ice fish, snowshoe, cross-country, ski. We set up usually a fire or two, and people just a lot of sitting around and eating. A lot of eating going on.
Hammocks have really caught on. Campers say they can actually be quite warm, some designed with cushy down insulation on top and on bottom.
I've been out as cold as -50, and that's cold.
Tonight's temp won't drop quite that low. Still, Thomas Ward hammers out a plan.
She's brand new.
This is really brand new.
His homemade tent covers his hammock.
Maiden voyage.
Inside, a wood stove heats the whole deal.
We all have kind of the same enjoyment of just hammock camping and being in the woods. Just a really good time out in the bush with good friends.
They come for the company, but stay for the sleep.
Right. It doesn't matter what's underneath you, whether it's rocks, snow, ice, water, you're above it all, nice and comfortable.
Just like that.
It's phenomenally warm. Very, very warm.
Ten hours later, Josh Paquette finds himself first one up and all alone.
People in hammocks like to stay in it as long as possible, which is pretty true because it's very warm, very cozy.
All this, a game most folks will never play.
Morning.
Coffee.
Woo! Just the typical reaction. Oh, you're nuts. We'll see you afterwards. Hopefully you don't die. Stuff like that. Nothing too crazy.
Oh, the day's not over yet. People crazy enough to cold camp get all kinds of ideas.
Here comes one of our main plungers. I secretly want my dad to do it. Who's going first?
If their butts weren't frozen before,
Yay, good job.
they act like their brains just might be. I guess that's the whole point.
Yeah, it's all in your attitude, positive mental attitude, and you can have a good time anywhere.
With the right gear, it's actually pretty darn fun.
No, 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 no. I will stick to my warm bed at home.
That's fine. Well, that about does it for us. We sure hope you'll join us back here next week.
In the meantime, remember, introduce a kid to the great outdoors.
Or hammock camping.
That's true.
Transportation provided by Premier Transportation. Call 1-800-899-7433. To get more Minnesota Bound, including full episodes, go to mnbound.com. And to follow our latest adventures, like us on Facebook.